Hi everyone, so today we're going to do a car wash. So I'm going to wash my car. I'm going to start with the pressure washer. So you can see that right here. I'm going to use that first to get everything wet, and then I'm going to give it a foam bath. So I'll show you how I do that. I'll be cleaning all of the rims and tires. So I've got some brushes and some things that I can use for that. And then I'll use Optimum no rinse. That's what I use to actually do some of the hand washing at the end. And I don't think I'll do it this time, but a lot of times I use Hydro 2 for a spray-on wax because it's just so easy to use. And then I do a dry with some waffle weave. So that's what I'm going to do today, and that's what I do usually every few weeks or so. The car is not that dirty right now, but you know, you can kind of see here it's got some dead bugs and things like that. Usually the car gets dirty right down here is where it gets kind of the most dirty. It's a little bit after 12 o'clock noon right now, so I usually try to do this earlier in the morning, usually around 9 or 10, so that I can do everything in the shade. But it is a little bit after 12, so the sun happens to be out today. So you know, I live up here in the Pacific Northwest, where you know, the sun doesn't always come out that often, so a lot of times it's okay even in the afternoon. But today just so happens the sun's out, but the weather is pretty cold. It's probably in the 50s right now, so because it's in the 50s, I think we'll still be okay. We won't have too much of the soap drying off and things like that. So yeah, and I have been meaning to get rid of this. This is just some over spray from some wax and stuff, and that was there when I got the car. So I got this car, I think it was 6-7 months ago or something like that, and it's been there ever since then. And I did use some stuff to clean it at one point, but I don't know, I just never really got around to it. So so yeah, let's do that. And so for step one, here is the pressure washer. My pressure washer is electric, so it's not quite as powerful as some of the gas powered ones, but it still works just well enough for this. And one quick thing, you will see that on the windshield right there, the water does repel fairly well right now. This has Rain-X on it, but I also have Aquapel, so I am planning to put Aquapel on this car. I'll probably do that maybe sometime in the upcoming week or so. I was going to do some Aquapel here as well as Aquapel on my other car, and then that's the Kia Soul EV as well. That car's pretty clean because I actually did clean it this morning. So yeah, back to this. So the water is still beating fairly well over here. This is the Hydro 2 spray-on wax that I've been using, and it seems to last about, you know, a couple of months or so. I think online or in the brochures they say it lasts something like 4 months or 6 months, but it's been maybe about 6 weeks or so since I last applied it, and it seems like it's okay. But you know, one of these days I'll probably just do another one because it's just so easy to use. I also bought a new bottle here, so it's a brand new bottle of Hydro 2 sitting over there, so I'll probably use that at some point. So I'm going to do this, and then we'll do the foam bath in a few minutes. Alright, so just did the pressure wash. So the pressure wash is okay. I mean, it's, you know, it'll take off some of the surface dirt and things like that. Up here you can kind of see that it did make it a little bit cleaner, some of those dead bugs, but you'll see that it's still pretty dirty down here. Some of this dirt is actually not going to come off until I actually use my hand to wipe that off. But still, the next step is I do a foam wash. I use this stuff here. This is called Honeydew Snow Foam. It's by Chemical Guys. You can buy it on the website and stuff like that. Yeah, I have nothing to do with these guys. I just use their products. So you know, they're not paying me or anything like that. This is what I use as a foam cannon. I use this IK Foam 9. I do have a foam, a foam cannon that I can hook up to my pressure washer, and I tried using that for a while. So that's my foam bath. So my foam wash is in. I let this sit. Usually you want to let this sit for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes or so. I usually just let it sit longer than that. Like I said, even though the sun's out in the back here, it's not really going to dry on the car. And even if it does, this is actually pH neutral, so it's okay. Even if it does dry, it's not going to leave spots. But what I do now is I start working on my wheels and tires. So this is the bucket that I use for wheels. So I'm going to fill this up with water. I use these different brushes here to clean off the rims, and I have some wheel cleaner that I spray on there, as well as some tire cleaner. So I'll do that in a second. Alright, so it's actually kind of irritating me right now, but I could not find my stool, so I had to get this garden stool, so I'm going to use that instead. But this is simply all-purpose cleaner. Just it's by McGuire's, just standard all-purpose cleaner. It's nothing fancy. What I do is I just spray that on here. I do have like rim cleaner and tire cleaner, but I don't know where that is right now, so I'm just going to spray it with that. You can be fairly liberal with your spraying there. I start with the small brush, and the small brush is really what I use to get in here. So I get into this area to clean off all the brake dust and stuff that goes down there. So this one does that. You can actually see a little bit of residue here from the rim protectors. Like if you look at that rim over there, I've got these red rim protectors on there, and I have that because that will protect you from curb rash. And the reason why this rim doesn't have that is because this tire and the other tire on the other side, so the driver's side front, these both got flat tires last week. So because I got flats, the company that was there to clean these, to change off the tires, they essentially had to take all that stuff off. So that's what they did. This is what I do. I clean off each rim like this. I do these by hand, and then when I'll do that off camera later. And the last thing I do is use this thing to clean off lug nut areas and do an overall cleaning. The last thing I have in here that I want to show you is this brush. That's a tire brush, so I use this to clean off all the tires. So it probably goes without saying that anything you do with your rims and your wheels, you want to keep separate. So all of that I keep in this bucket right here. That never gets mixed with anything else that I use to clean the car. So I'm going to clean off all the rims. After I do that is when I rinse off all the foam from the car. Alright, so I just finished off with the rims, cleaning them with the brushes and stuff. So now I'm going to take all the soap off. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to start with the top and then go down from there. The main goal here is we just want to get all of that, the foam wash off. I'm going to get all that foam off so that on the next step I can actually do some more washing. So what you'll notice down here is that the foam does loosen up all that dirt, but it doesn't necessarily take it all off. So you cannot always do a 100% touchless wash, where I'll just do this, and then dry off and leave. So I am going to have to do a hand wash after this, but it's going to be fairly light. It won't take too much work. So yeah, I'll do that. But I'm going to rinse the car off first, and then I'll see you back. All right, so I did a rinse with the pressure washer, and now it is time to actually hand wash. So what I'm using here is I have a bucket. It's down here. It's full of Optimum No Rinse. So Optimum No Rinse is a product that I use. What it does is basically helps you wash your car. I use these microfiber towels. I fold it in fours like this. I do one side like this, just kind of run over it really quick. It's usually not too much work, but if you can visually see something, like a little piece of dirt or something, I'll clean it like this. And then after a little bit, I will basically take what I've done here and so I just use this side. So I'm going to flip it over and use the other side here, and that way you can get the car cleaned without introducing any dirt. Now I will say that the front part here on my car might be a little bit different because I actually do have this wrapped. So it has paint protection film. The entire front hood, the front bumper, these quarter panels, as well as the side mirrors. So it's a little bit easier for me to clean this part of things. Where it does start getting to be pretty dirty usually is down here. So I'll show you what that looks like. Usually for the way I really do this in a car wash is I go top to bottom. So I don't usually, and I go quarter by quarter. So I don't do the entire car at once. I just do quarter by quarter, going from top to bottom. So you'll start to see that like here is still okay, but as I get down here, it is pretty dirty here, and you'll see that the car, the microfiber towel is going to start to get pretty dirty now. So I'm going to keep flipping it over and use only one side of this so that I don't introduce dirt. I'm going to flip that around to do this side. I'll start from the top, go down. This is the dirty part, but as you can see here, it doesn't really take a whole lot of effort to clean this area because the foam that we did earlier, all that pressure washing here and there, all of that took care of, did its job to loosen everything up. Now I have heard that the paint that Tesla uses is a little bit thin, so you don't want to be too aggressive with your pressure washer. In my case, like I mentioned earlier, this one's electric, so it's not too powerful, so that's good. I also have it on low, so I sort of purposely do that to make sure that it's not going to be too powerful to harm any of the paint. So I'm going to do this for the rest of the car. You kind of saw it only took a minute or two to do the front hood, front bumper, this quarter panel, as well as these two doors. I'm going to grab more towels, do the whole other side, as well as do the back. All right, so I did the Optimum No Rinse. That took about 5 minutes or so. Car is actually really clean right now. So this next step is kind of optional. A lot of people will actually just dry the car right now and they'll be done. I like to do one more quick rinse because sometimes, as I'm cleaning, we get some pretty dirty dirt and stuff that gets lifted up. So I like to do one quick rinse. We do one more quick rinse like this, and then after that I do a dry, and then I'm done. So now if I did do the Hydro 2, this is actually the step where I would do that. Like I would dry this stuff up, and then I'd spray that, and then I would use the pressure washer to get the Hydro 2 to seat. But I'm actually not going to do Hydro 2 today. I'll probably create another video the next time I do decide to do Hydro 2. So this time it's just going to be a quick rinse. So after that, I'm going to use my waffle weave towel to dry everything, and that'll be good. All right, so I did a quick rinse, and as you can see, this is Pacific Northwest Seattle weather for you. You did see earlier that the sun was out, but it's cloudy again. It actually even looks like it might rain or something. So hopefully it won't rain, but we'll see. Now for a lot of the drying, I actually use this. This is a standard sort of waffle weave terry towel. So I use this to do all the drying. These are great because you can just wash this with all the microfiber towels that I used to do the hand washing part. So I just throw this in there. This will get clean with that. So I actually use this to do some like detailing within crevices and things like that. So this does get kind of dirty. And with this car, there are a lot of crevices. So you'll see kind of what I do, where I do have to open up the doors and things like that to actually get this car pretty dried up. But I'm going to go do this. I'm going to start from the top up here and get all this stuff dried up. And then, yeah, we'll go on from there. All right, so it's now dried. It is clean. It is looking pretty good. I went over and got the key so I can dry the inside parts. So, you know, it's about 90% of the way there. It's looking pretty good right now. I'm going to do a few other things because the water is still kind of dripping. You can kind of see here that there's some water drip over there. I'm going to clean up all of those sections. I'm also going to open up all the doors and the trunk and stuff so that I can clean off these little areas here that have a lot of water. So I'm going to do all that next. All right, so as you can kind of see here, the car is looking pretty good right now. I opened everything up, I cleaned everything in all of these little nooks here. These falcon wing doors are nice because you can raise them all the way up, but you can also put them in more of a 3/4 position, which is what I did to get it a little bit cleaner. You can see that there's water still dripping, so I think we're actually done here. So the steps that we did, remember, we pressure washed, put the foam on with that thing, and then we ended up cleaning all these wheels with the all-purpose cleaner and the brushes, did the hand wash with the Optimum no rinse, and then used the waffle weave terry towel to get everything cleaned up at the end. So overall, I think we're looking pretty good. Sort of typical Seattle weather. It's no longer sunny. You know, the sky is starting to look a little bit blue. It is actually starting to drizzle a little bit, so I'm going to move the car inside. But overall, you know, we are looking pretty good. You know, cleaned most of the car, like things like this, to get it as clean as I could. So there we go. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If you want to, you can also subscribe to this channel, or if you ask any questions, I will be sure to try to get back to you with answers as best as I can. I am not a professional. I'm just a guy who is somewhat of a hobbyist in this stuff, so that's just what I'm doing. So, you know, if you have criticisms, if I can do things better, feel free to let me know on that as well. If you saw any mistakes, that's fine too. I'm always open to criticism, always open to improve. So there we go. Take care, everyone, and see you next time.